Merry Christmas, sports fans. It's Josh Williams back again with another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. Just wanted to quickly get on and wish each of you guys a Merry Christmas. Wanted to talk about some of these games. We've got the the NBA's. We're going to talk about the NBA. First game. Dave is already ready to roll, so let's go ahead and get Dave in here. Right. What's going on? Cuz Marcus in the house. Oh my, Dave, this is record time. It's record time, Dave.
Wow, I know.
Record time. I told you I think this might be the way to do it.
I'm not against it.
Yep. That was the way to do it. I think that's it. The longer we had to do this, this was definitely record time. So we'll jump right into it. But first, wishing you a Merry Christmas, Dave, to you and your family.
Well, thank you as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Celebrated Christmas last night.
I almost got
Merry Christmas
my
to
hair
my
braided up
cousin.
just like yours, but I decided against it.
I told you it was a vision, Dave. It was a vision. You just had to hold down the fort. I know it was much longer than we needed it to be, but we don't have to look homeless anymore. At least not on a daily basis. So that's a good thing.
Like
But
Avengers now, I didn't have the vision.
yeah, I think you're long enough though. You know what I mean? Up top, maybe one long braid in the middle.
That would be the scraggliest braid ever. My hair is so thin. Get out. I'm almost at shaving time.
Oh no, is it no, not in the back. In the back,
No,
you think?
I'm not there yet.
Yeah,
It's gonna
yeah.
happen. It's gonna happen.
Really? You think
it's
so?
coming soon. I'm not gonna hide it. I'm not gonna be like these people with comb overs and shit like that.
That
Get
a
out of
boy.
here.
That a boy. Come home.
No,
You come home. You come home when it's time.
You gotta just let it go.
I love it. Well, we're just gonna talk. It's gonna be brief because I know Listen, everybody's into Christmas, so we're gonna just quickly talk about some sports. Talk about today's sports. So we got some NFL games and then the NBA as well. Talk a little bit about the playoff scenarios and then let you guys get back to opening and celebrating with the family. So up first, we got the Chiefs and the Steelers. Steelers at home. Steelers are road dogs, Dave. Who do you got? What do you think about the matchup?
Well, I don't want the Chiefs to win at any point because they always do, except for one time this season. And I can't stand Russell Wilson. So I mean, this is a terrible situation. I think the Chiefs will pull it out because I can't imagine the Bills getting a shot to get the 1 seed. So I'm going to think the Chiefs win the game.
And you guys need the Chiefs to lose out, basically,
Lose out,
right?
and the Bills win.
Yeah.
The Bills winning out. I mean, it is Jets Patriots. That should be happening anyway. But who knows? They real easy this last time.
Hey, and you know what? This is also potentially Aaron Rodgers' swan song. So
Aaron Rodgers
can't
play this week.
Really? Is that what they're saying?
They might be out.
Me. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I don't even want to get into it with this knucklehead. He's the worst. Go away, please.
Well. So all right. So before I even give my pick, I will say I've liked Russell Wilson more with the Steelers. I've been able to cheer for him.
Can I tell you why you like him more with the Steelers?
Why?
Because Mike Tomlin don't put up with that shit.
Yeah, but I just feel like I feel like
Mike Tomlin said absolutely not. It's not that stuff with the Broncos where he came in and he got an office and all his knuckleheads.
No.
You notice
none of that stuff.
He's not doing pregame huddles to nobody. He's not doing any of that nonsense. Mike Tomlin will not have it.
Well, I'll say as far as he wasn't getting that stuff in Seattle, and that was the reason why he bounced. Well, one of the reasons. But I feel like with the Steelers, he just seems more likable. Like his teammates actually like him. You know what I mean? Like the Seahawks, he always felt kind of like the cornball situation, and that's how the roster is corny.
But I think Mike Tomlin is protecting him from himself. Plus, I mean, you have to figure at this point you're probably humbled to some degree because I mean, Sean Payton couldn't wait to get you out of it. They ate all that money to get rid of you.
That's crazy. They have an unlimited cap apparently. But I'm gonna
Walmart money spends forever.
That's fair. They do have Walmart money. That's true. I'm also gonna go with the Chiefs. I think that listen, this is the time where the Chiefs keep waiting, and that's crazy to say for a team that's 14-1. But I think getting Hollywood Brown on top of all their other weapons. I think at some point they're going to start unlocking that downfield throwing. And I didn't realize that like Mahomes is I think 27th or 28th in downfield throwing
It's
this year.
but that's nothing.
Um,
They're doing just enough. The defense with Spagnuolo coordinated is playing great.
yeah,
They're clearly keeping Kelsey in reserve for the playoffs because you know there's stuff they could be doing, but I just feel they're just not doing it.
yeah,
I feel like they're really going to wait until they're trying to do something that's never been done before. Winning a regular season game doesn't mean that much to them.
yeah. Now, getting home field, I think does, because you do not want to play in Buffalo if
No,
you don't have to.
they don't want to see Buffalo in the
Yeah,
playoffs. I mean, they've
yeah.
done it before, but I don't think you want to see them with that this year. I think the
You don't want to have
Josh
to
Allen's
do
in a
it. I'll say
better
that.
Josh Allen's in a better space. You prefer to stay home in Kansas City.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. All right. Next up, we've got the Ravens and the Texans. Texans are plus 5.5 dogs at the crib.
Too low.
You think so?
Way too low.
Now we have to say, or we have to give our condolences to Tank Dell.
Jeez.
We all witnessed his knee exploding on
Fortunately, I
on
didn't witness it. I looked down at that moment.
well, look, no, when it happened, because see, I watched it live, and so when it happened and he went straight to the knee, I was like, that looks kind of bad. But I didn't think it was that
He
bad.
blew up
It was
everything.
bad. It was really, really bad. But look, I said to myself, I was like, I think that he's going to miss this kick, the extra point right after it, because like their whole team, like CJ Stroud is crying. Yeah, I mean, like all the players are really, really devastated. It's back-to-back years now. Tank Dell's gone down with a knee injury in friendly fire situations both times. Yeah, that was a tough situation. But you feel like even though they pick up Deontay Johnson, now it is
Deontay
1 week.
Johnson.
Hey,
Deontay Johnson. Baltimore couldn't wait to run that man out of town.
that was bad. I still don't get that situation.
Deontay Johnson.
I don't get that situation. That I like. How do you go from the Panthers and you're one of the worst teams in the league to one of the best teams in the league and you don't want to play? It was that
Well,
was it didn't make
when you think
sense.
because when you think you're better than you actually are, that's all that is.
I mean, look, he was having a solid season. He was number one receiver on. Well, I mean, it was number one receiver on the Panthers. Before you say anything, uh,
Panthers got better after he left too. After Bryce came back,
hey, you know what? They did. Maybe
you
they exercised some demons.
you have to
Do you?
understand. I think there's some of the things with receivers. There's a lot of addition by subtraction. Listen, I look at it as a Bills fan. Stephon Diggs was very important for helping to elevate Josh Allen to the level that he is, and making the team a playoff contender every year. But his
Mhm.
time was up. And now look at Josh
Yeah.
Allen. Josh Allen has a good chance to win the MVP this year because he doesn't have to force it to somebody. They brought in Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's where he got the ball because he throws to who's open. There's a difference
Yeah.
between like when you're Mahomes, you're allowed to do that whenever because you won all the rings with Andy Reid, like, and you know the clutch throws are going to Travis Kelsey.
Yeah.
So it's like for every other receiver, get with the program or don't. We can happily have you gone. We win without you. We've already done it.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
I
look,
think with a lot of these guys,
they
they need that mentality, but it works against them too.
when they won without Tyreek Hill, I still find that amazing. Yeah, I mean, they won with literally me and you at receiver. It
Hey,
was
they're
crazy.
winning. Hey, he's doing a lot of winning down in Miami, right? He's leading them to a lot of wins, right?
But you know what though? You know, he also did that to go home and to take care of his family. He made, I mean, and to grow his family
Boo,
apparently. What?
boo,
Hey, look, hey,
boo.
Dave, look at it
I
this
hate
way.
the Dolphins.
If you already won the awards, you know what I mean, you already, did everything, you got your championship, now you get your money. It's a good
Oh,
career. It's
it's
not the
great.
career that I mean, it's not the career that all of us would want in terms of like accolades and like, heavy big time moments, but if somebody's gonna pay you $30 million more than somebody else, you gotta go.
Listen, I just hate the Dolphins. It's no disrespect to the move. The move is the
Fair
move
enough.
you had to make.
Fair enough.
It's the move you had to make.
Fair
That's
enough.
it. It'd be stupid to not
So
make that move.
so you have the Ravens. You said 5.5 isn't enough.
Easy, comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, I think still the emotional letdown from losing Tank Dell and also Deontay Johnson not being ready yet. I think they win next week. I don't care who they play, but they're not in position to lose their playoff spot.
It's
So
it's
they're
6.5
fine.
now, Josh.
Oh
It bumped
my
up.
God, that's gone up in the last 30 minutes. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, you were right. 5.5 wasn't enough. So then let's talk about some of the playoff scenarios. Playoff scenarios in the AFC. The Chiefs lock up the number 1 seed with their win over the Steelers. So the Bills, like we said before, they need the Chiefs to lose out and to win out to lock in the number 1 seed. The Ravens, the Texans win they win their division with a win today. Probably won't happen. The Chargers lock up their playoff spot with a win or a Colts and Dolphins loss. Do you think the Chargers are going to be able to do all that today? Not today, but this week.
Chargers are getting in. I think the Chargers are getting in. I think there's a good chance Chargers Broncos, realistically.
That would be a good game.
Because one of the things you want is, like, if you're Indy, you don't want that playoff spot, man. You're going to get walked by whoever the 2 seed is going to roll over you. Baltimore and Pittsburgh are going to be in.
I think you always want the playoff spot, personally, especially because it's not like really.
Sure. As an organization, no.
Well, but like if we're splitting hairs and it's like we're right there, what's the difference between what the 20th pick and the 24th pick?
Listen, I would love it if I'm wrong and the Colts are in there, because I figure the Bills are going to be the 2 seed. I would love to see Anthony Richardson in the playoffs. Love it.
Be careful what you wish for.
I'll wish for that. I'll put my name on that all over the place. Anthony Richardson's not good. He's the bad version of Josh Allen. That's all he is. He's Josh Allen.
All right, now, look, now listen. Now, I will clip this and I will put you in.
I just need to hear something. Josh Allen makes people think that the big physical, super talented physically quarterback can change their stripes, when he's like the only one to ever do it. Now everybody thinks they can have a Josh Allen. There's only one.
You feel like he changed his stripes, or you 100%. Feel like he's just gotten better?
His first two seasons, he was the worst quarterback in the league. He was everything I was worried about with him coming out. I complained about it nonstop.
Yeah.
He changed his whole game, which somebody that physically gifted doesn't do. He changed his throwing motion. He changed everything.
Fair enough. All right. Last in the AFC, the Broncos win and they're in. It's that simple. They don't need any help. They get a W. They're in the playoffs this year with a rookie quarterback. Switching over.
Let's not act like Bo Nix carried them to the playoffs.
Bo Nix
defense carried them to the playoffs.
Bo Nix has played well. He's played well.
He's played just fine. He's played good enough that they don't lose those games. That defense is going to get them to the playoffs.
But you know what? I feel like to kind of just put a pin on that, the air is different because they're behind Bo Nix, whereas everybody was making fun of everything that Russell Wilson did.
One, for good reason, and two, all the word going into the draft was how much Sean Payton loved Bo Nix.
Yeah,
like he would have taken Bo Nix number 1. Like that's what everybody was saying.
Yeah, that he would also have been on crack if you would have did that. NFC, switching over to the NFC playoff scenarios, the Lions win and a Vikings loss gives them the number 1 seed and the division. That division is coming down to the last week.
It's going to come down last week of the season.
Yeah, I don't think the Vikings lose to the Packers. It's possible. The Packers are they have the best division in the league, and I don't even think it's close this year.
You could if the Packers win both their games, you're going to have a division with 3 13-win teams.
That's incredible. That's incredible. I don't think that's ever happened. That's never happened.
I mean, you have one more game in the season, but
you
have a division with 3 12-win teams. That's stupid.
Yeah. That's true. Rams win the division and lock up their playoff spot with a win and a loss by the Seahawks. I think that's possible. I think the Seahawks are eight and something. I think they're 8-6 or
Yeah,
8-7.
but Seattle's been struggling for a while.
They have, but Seattle did get that big win last week, so we'll see. I'm interested to see how that one goes. But the Rams are just one of those teams you don't want to play this time of year and play in the playoffs. They just are.
I can
They
tell
will
you
fight
that
you to the end.
I'm a Bills fan. I saw them a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
That offense is clicking. That is terrifying.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, they're both their run game and their pass game. Puka and Cooper are both healthy enough. You know, Williams is been carrying the load on the ground. Matthew Stafford, obviously, this time of year, he's not used to being in the playoffs until he got to the Rams consistently. So him just, every chance he has to make magic happen, he's doing it. Eagles win the NFC East with a win or a Commander's loss. So my team actually still has an outside chance of getting the NFC East division
I think
if we win out.
I think of earlier in the season when I told you, like, don't worry about the waiting period. It's time to believe. And you didn't want to believe. You didn't want to believe in Jaden. Do you believe now?
It wasn't I didn't want to believe in Jaden. I didn't want so what I didn't want was
It doesn't matter now. Do you believe?
No, hold on. It wasn't that I did not want to believe. It was simply that I want to also always give my players a chance to develop. So I'm not going to be hooping and hollering too much. And, we only had seen certain teams and there wasn't a whole lot of tape out on you yet. There's tape out on him and he's continuing to evolve. You can tell that he's watching as much film as they say. I watched him the other day and he was saying how he watched film at the beginning of the season and how he watches film now is totally different. He's learned a lot from the veterans, and he'll watch film with Bobby Wagner, and Bobby Wagner will tell him what the defense sees, and and then he's saying the same thing. So it's
That's not
like
that he's also a veteran himself.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, so
Inside
like
rug.
it was never that I didn't believe. It was just I wanted to. I still wanted to see everything kind of play out, and so I still think moving forward we need that other receiver to help Terry. Because like I've said before, if you look at the Eagles and you look at just how stacked they are everywhere, it's like, oh well, you shut this guy down, we got this guy.
Except
You
quarterback.
shut those two guys down, we got this guy. It's
stacked
like
everywhere except quarterback.
but their quarterback, he plays to who they are. You know what I mean? Like he's dangerous in that system on that team.
Forget the NFC. How many AFC quarterbacks would you take over Jalen Hurts?
Oh, probably 5 or 6 for sure.
That's what I'm saying. At least 6 quarterbacks. He might be the best quarterback in the NFC.
Okay, so all right,
Jared Goff's probably the best quarterback in the NFC right now.
Yeah. We'll go. All right, to answer your question, how many quarterbacks will I take in the AFC over Jalen Hurts? Obviously, Mahomes, Josh Allen,
yes,
Justin Herbert.
Yep. Lamar.
Who else? Oh, Joe Burrow, obviously.
Burrow, of course.
Lamar. But then that's where it starts to get dicey. See what I'm saying? That's fine.
Would you take CJ Stroud over him?
Probably not.
After this season, you'd have to say no after seeing him see a first place schedule. But it's tough to say because Jalen Hurts' team is so loaded.
No. That's also the hard part. You know what I'm saying? Like you're also taking him out of that situation. Now, could I plug and play any of those quarterbacks on the Eagles? Would they be the same or better? Would they be in those 4th and 1s versus we just picked up the first down? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like it's different.
But I think even in the NFC, he's behind all 3 of the NFC North quarterbacks right now.
I wouldn't put him behind Darnold.
This season, I would.
This season, maybe, but Darnold also is in a very good offensive situation too.
Put him behind Matt Stafford.
Yeah, that's actually quarterback.
So Jalen Hurts is not a top 10 quarterback.
It's tough. That's tough for me. It's tough, and that's coming from hate. Because trust me,
I
every
don't
time I
even
see him, look, listen. When he went down in our
hold on.
game,
I'm gonna say something really responsible.
okay,
I'd rather have Jaden Daniels.
wow, wow, wow. That's I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I'm very
I
happy that he's
just
my quarterback.
I think like I said, he fits for that because he can do those 1 yard conversions there.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, he's never been a good passer. He wasn't a good passer in college.
He But see, that's the thing. Like he makes a lot of back-breaking throws, bro. Like everyone gets on him a lot, but I've witnessed him like absolutely just dice us up. That's not saying a whole lot, but at the same time, I've witnessed it. So it's like
If
it's hard for me. So when
if
people
they were
really,
if they were this much better at quarterback, or if they had a different head coach, I'd be terrified of that team. I don't think
Mhm.
anybody beats them.
Yeah,
But with
no,
that
that's
quarterback and that coach, they can be had.
that's fair. That's fair. Buccaneers win the division with a win and a Falcons loss. So if the Redskins, sorry, if the Commanders beat the Falcons, shut up, Dave. Then and the
Let it go,
Buccaneers
man.
get their
Let it
win,
go.
then that's the end of that. Let me see. Commanders lock in their playoff spot with a win or a Bucks loss. So we play in the night game.
Yeah.
So we'll actually know whether or not we're already in the playoffs before the game starts. I don't like that because that's an emotional, you know what I mean? Like you kind of deflate yourself a little
It's
bit.
weird.
Because if the Bucks lose, I think they're playing the Panthers, and if they lose that game, then we're already in the playoffs before we even take a snap. So I don't know. I don't know. That makes me a little bit nervous. Just that, because I said that they were going to get 12 wins, before the season started, and everybody thought I was crazy and laughed at me. But we're in position to get 12 wins, which is crazy. So we'll see. Um, but staying right on my Commanders. The Commanders come back from a 14-0 deficit after giving up 21 points in the first quarter to the Philadelphia Eagles, but take the lead with 6 seconds left. And I just wanted to say, quickly as far as my game goes, it sucks being on the West Coast and I'm in and out of church. So I saw some of the game, and then there's areas of the game where I go dark. So I missed all the turnovers. I just kept seeing the Eagles end up with the ball, and I'm like, how the heck they get the ball back again?
Had five of them, right?
Had five
Two picks,
turnovers,
three
and
fumbles.
so people are like, a lot of the Eagles fans are giving the whole, oh, well, Jalen Hurts got hurt and CJ Gardner-Johnson went down and, all this other stuff. My
Can
thing is,
can I speak to that real quick?
yeah, go
Just a
ahead.
quick aside.
Go
Everybody
ahead.
needs to stop. Every team's got problems. Now, granted, like say a team like the Lions has gotten hurt more. The Bills for the last
Yes.
2-3 weeks have no secondary. Every starter's out.
Yes. Look, every
You're
starter's
wondering why
out.
everybody's moving the ball on them so easily. I mean, they didn't have the best defense in the league, but they had a good, solid bend but don't break
Yeah.
defense. When your whole secondary's out, that can't happen anymore. You got nobody to cover anybody. So everybody talk about, well, this person's hurt or this person's hurt. Josh Allen's probably had a broken hand. Now it's not in throwing, but the whole
No,
season. So
they said since September. I saw that. That's
he's been
crazy.
wearing
That's
that glove
absolutely
since then,
insane.
and he's been wearing that glove because of it. People are acting like he's playing it up. If you watch Bills games like I do, you see that hand has bothered him every game this season.
That's insane, bro. Like just thinking in terms of like, protecting the football and those kinds of things, he just thinking about all the hits he's taken. It hasn't impacted his fumble numbers. That's really impressive. I saw that. But as far as I'm concerned, Kenny Pickett is a first round draft pick. He was the only first round draft
Shouldn't
pick
have
the
been,
year
but
he was
shouldn't
drafted.
have been, but
He
yes,
wasn't, but he was. You know what I'm saying? The Steelers picked him
it
first
it
round.
it did happen.
You know what I mean? So to play it off as if, Jalen Hurts goes out and then, some bumpkin that we forgot was on the team strolls in. Kenny Pickett was just a starting quarterback a year ago. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll be interested how they do with him this week. If like giving him the whole week of prep, that's actually kind of interesting to me.
is Hurts done? Is Hurts out? Has that already been has that been
I don't
announced?
think it's he's out, but I mean with a concussion you have to work
Tiffy.
with that assumption.
Merry Christmas in Canada. We got some of the Canadian fans coming on, so Merry Christmas out there in Canada.
Enjoy Boxing
Um,
Day tomorrow.
nice work, Dave. That's pretty good.
I love Canada.
But yeah, I mean, like that. But see what I'm saying? Like, so to play it off as if him being hurt is the end all be all. Now, granted, when I saw he was down, I was like, well, now they're not going to be able to throw nearly as much. So now you can start to take away Saquon, and that's what happened. Saquon has 100 yards in the first quarter. Jalen Hurts goes down, and then I think he ended up with like 140 something or
Yeah, he
130
was
something. So like
diminished the whole rest
the
of the
rest
game.
of the game, he definitely was slowed down. So it does change who they are. It does change a lot. And so that kind of gets back to what I was saying about Jalen Hurts before. You know what I mean? It isn't as plug and play as we always want it to be. He does fit what they do. They've built a lot of what they do around him and being able to have a mobile quarterback. But we'll see. But I just had to put a pin in that because a lot of the Eagles fans were, of course they always want to diminish your win, but at the same time, it's like, hey, bro, we had 5 turnovers and y'all couldn't blow us out. Shame on you. Before,
And that team's so loaded. Get out of here.
yeah, seriously, like, bro, literally anything. But we'll see. To finish off the NFL, is this the end for Aaron Rodgers? Is this
God,
the
I hope
end
so.
for Is
I
this the
sure hope
end
so.
for Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers made some snarky remarks as per usual for him, talking about Woody Johnson saying that his teenage son is going to be the person to decide whether or not Aaron Rodgers is going to stay on the Jets.
God, I
Um,
can't imagine. Aaron Rodgers is the only person awful enough to make me possibly take Woody Johnson's side on something. That's crazy.
and
He's the worst. Aaron Rodgers is the absolute worst. And by the way, I almost wanted to play a game with you on the show because I know there's a dollar amount, but I would have to figure out how much money you'd have to pay me to watch that Netflix special of his.
you know what?
It's
I
more than you think.
I
It's more than you think.
listen.
I'm
I
not
will tell
watching a
you. I
second
started.
of that.
I started watching it. I started
What's wrong
watching
with
it.
you?
I didn't. I did watch McMahon. I forgot to tell you that I did watch McMahon. McMahon was really
Yeah, I
good.
watched that.
And so the Merry Christmas to Nick Dance, the Veterans Minimum. Nick jumping on the line for a little bit. Hope all is well with him. But I watched a little bit of the first episode, probably like the first
Do
6
me
or 7 minutes.
a favor.
Maybe about 10.
Don't review any of this for me. I don't even want to hear anything about it. I don't
It,
want a
it,
second of
it,
that man in my
it's
life.
It's not bad, Dave. It's not bad.
No chance of me
It's
watching
not
it. Not one.
bad. It's I will say it definitely did show a little bit more locker room because it like jumps you into the Jets season last year,
Sure,
like before he got
sure.
hurt. And
I'm sure it
and
showed
so
particular people in the locker room. His guys.
well no
I think a
no
lot
no
of
it showed
these dudes are tired of his shit.
it showed the whole team and like he came in and they had he was basically talking about their season. Like I think this was maybe like 6 or 7 weeks in, a
Josh,
few weeks into the season.
Josh.
You don't care.
They were better with Zach Wilson.
I mean, torn Achilles, you know.
Prosecution rests. Enough of this garbage.
There's
Go away.
nothing I
I
can
don't want to
say.
hear
There's
from you
nothing I can say.
anymore. Why? I don't understand why people are still watching. It must be one of those like ESPN things where we all hate it, but some people just can't get enough of it. Go away.
All right.
Go away, Aaron.
Switching gears over to the NBA. Like I said, this is gonna be a quick show, so we only got a little bit of NBA and then we're done.
Yeah, much
My
like
first.
society did to us on Christmas. This is a crime, Josh Williams.
What,
A crime.
what's a
Christmas
crime?
is the NBA's day. Christmas
Oh
is the NBA's day.
yeah,
I don't even want to watch these games because of this. Will I
yeah,
probably watch some of them? Sure, but I'm watching NBA.
yeah, yeah. I guess to finish off NFL too. I listen. First off,
By the
I
way, the
don't
Knicks
think
are up by
that.
one right now. Just so you know, they're the
Okay,
NBA.
you got your eye on that
NBA
too.
is being kept an eye on.
So for me, I feel like one, the Chiefs are playing 3 games in I think like 12 days or something. It's something crazy.
In 11, it's
First,
3 and 11 days.
if you want a team to play on Christmas, especially if it's a short week, there's no reason that those teams shouldn't have played on Thursday night football to at least give them a week, even though
Because they
a rearranged
get,
week.
not only did they have to take 2 games, so they rearranged the week. There's multiple teams that are playing 3 games in 11 days, but you had to
Yeah.
put Beyonce out there too. Come on, man.
Hey, we got to put butts in these
Let the
seats. Beyonce was
NBA
feeling the
live,
pressure from the
man.
Swifties. The Beehive was feeling a little pressure. They were feeling a little pressure from the Swifties.
Let the
Beyonce's got to be out there.
let the NBA live, man. This is the NBA's day.
That, that's right. That's right. That's
Run
how I
those
feel
games on
too.
Thursday,
Now,
man. Come on, this is garbage.
being that it's the NBA's day, do you feel 5 games is too many? I feel like that's too many games, bro.
Well, I think it's the personal bias. It's always been 5 games since forever. They've always started at 9 o'clock in New
Has it
York.
been 5?
It's always
I didn't feel like
it's
it was
always been
always
5.
5.
I don't know how you have 5 and you don't have possibly the best team in the league, the Oklahoma City Thunder, in any one of the 5. Because I can
Yeah.
tell you something from being at those NBA Cup games. As a Thunder fan, I was shocked. That bandwagon is going. The kids love Shea. There were number 2 jerseys everywhere. Everywhere. Also, Giannis live, wouldn't recommend it. Terrible viewing experience.
Really?
Kareem's been right about Giannis. Well, number one, live, he's the most impressive human you've ever seen. He's so big. But, man, just the barreling into everybody live is just so much worse.
Really?
Oh,
Huh. That's interesting. That's
awful.
interesting.
Now, look,
Well,
the Thunder also played their worst game of the season by quite a bit. So,
okay. So to your point, no Thunder. I will say so of the 5 games. We'll go through them quickly. We got the Spurs, Knicks, Spurs. You've got Wembanyama, obviously, who they're trying to
yeah.
push to a national audience. So that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks also huge market, playing well, also makes sense. T-Wolves, Mavs. You got stars in that game. You've got Anthony
Rematch of
Edwards.
last
You've
year's
got yep.
conference finals.
Conference finals. Obviously, the teams aren't playing that well this year, but it's still early. Mavs, obviously, Kyrie and Luka. Then when you switch over to the next game, Sixers, Celtics. You got Embiid, Paul George, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. Lakers, Warriors. Rekindle the old rivalries,
Of course.
even though Lakers are playing like hot trash juice. But obviously that's LeBron versus Steph. Nuggets, Jokic versus KD. Like in terms of star power, there's more star power in each of those games than bringing out OKC. Now the flip side of that, the flip side of that, the flip side of that, the flip side of
Ooh, that's
that
close.
is you're trying to make Shea Gilgeous-Alexander into more of a known commodity, a known star. So putting him on these stages, because remember back when my Wizards were playing well and it was John Wall and Bradley Beal, we had like 2 or 3 straight years of Christmas games because they were really trying to push the Wizards on a national market. So doing that for OKC makes sense too. So I understand where you're coming from.
Like I said, it's 5 games. There's no Thunder. There's no Giannis. It's weird how they worked it that way. I mean, I understand trying to prop up Vic and all that, and I know you have to run out LeBron and Steph.
You just have to. You just have to.
Because I mean, if you go through all the games, because I mean, the Sixers, nobody knew they were going to be this bad.
Yeah.
So before the season, you thought this would be a big game. It's just not. But yeah, the LeBron and Steph is the one that stands out as like, well, I guess we have to do it.
Yeah. That would be if I was gonna bench anyone, I'd bench that game.
Of course.
That'd be the game to bench because the others all have relevant young stars now. Yeah, I mean, even if you're saying Embiid's old or Paul George is old, they still have what's his name?
Maxey.
Yeah. Maxey, thank you. They still have Maxey. So they still have a younger star in that game.
That's That's some of
Um,
their viewership problems. Is we're this older generation, unfortunately, including some players I really love, they're holding on so long that the
yeah,
new guys don't really get they don't get the elevation that they need.
yeah, yeah. Because the other ones haven't moved aside. You know
No,
what I mean? They just haven't. Um, which,
which they
which,
shouldn't, which
yeah.
they shouldn't have to. But I mean,
But see,
I think
then
that I think the league should have done a better job propping up some of these other teams. Like Oklahoma City's just starting to get national games this year. They were good
mm.
last year. They
and
were the number one seed in the
we're
West.
solid. We're solid the year before that.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
you're not they're not prepared enough. They're going to run that. They're going to run the LeBron and Steph train into the ground.
And look, and they get obviously also being on the West Coast, they get the second to last game, so they get one of those like real marquee primetime games. Yeah, it's a little tough. But I said it wasn't gonna be too long, so we'll go ahead and get out of here with this. The Bucks. So our last episode, we were talking about the NBA Cup and what team we thought would benefit the most for it for winning it. The Bucks win the second year, the second incarnation of the NBA Cup. That was not one of the teams that either of us picked.
Change
You picked the Rockets. I
change their
picked.
season.
I yes, I picked the Knicks, and we didn't talk about the Bucks. And honestly, we probably should have because the Bucks started off horribly.
Yeah,
Remember,
really
all the
bad.
calls for Doc's job. Doc Rivers is trash. He's always horrible. He's always been a bad coach. And quietly,
I'm still
they've
not sure that's not
really
the case, but I
what?
mean,
Hey,
that's just
you
me.
know what? Listen,
He's
even if
doing
it
a
is,
good job this year.
he did a lot to quiet it, and they did a lot, keeping everything in house and not letting that stuff really spill out. Because remember,
It
there was the calls for Giannis to want to be traded and all of those things, and I feel
To be
like a lot
fair
of that
though,
has been
a
calmed
lot
down.
of that Giannis took upon himself, and that Giannis decided like we are not a bad team. I'm not going to allow us to be a bad team, and
Yeah.
Giannis went out and started destroying everybody. So yeah, there's some that you can give credit to Doc because Doc has done a good job
Mm.
getting that bench going, but a lot of this credit I think you got to give to Giannis.
Well, hey, you know what? Darvin Ham wins back-to-back NBA Cups because
Never lost a game. Never
he's an
lost a game.
assistant coach on that team. One last thought: viewership though was down 29% between the Lakers winning last year and this year with the Bucks winning. We've talked about the NBA having issues with viewership. You just mentioned in terms of it's a lot of older stars and people kind of want to keep seeing the new stars, I feel like. And do you think the NBA has a really big problem?
Uh, they have some size of a problem. I think one you have a few different issues. One, all your best players are, with the exception of the old guys, are from other countries. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a big factor there. Because I mean, if you look at your top five in the league, you got Jokic, Giannis,
Yep. Yep.
Luka,
Three,
Shea.
four.
That's four definitive top five players. So the best American player right now is Jason Tatum. Is he? Jalen Brunson?
Wow. Wow.
There's an
That's
argument,
good.
and it just a lot of the older guys. I mean, they've done so much for the league, but it'll change. It'll swing back at some point. This always happens, and plus, a lot of it is there's a big youth culture thing with this. But the kids don't sit and watch games; they watch highlights. So
Yeah.
I think the NBA is just as relevant. It's just we don't know how to quantify this stuff anymore. Plus, with all those games, a lot of people stealing those streams, man.
Yeah.
A lot
Hey,
of people.
listen,
Not everybody's
listen.
paying for League Pass like myself.
Yeah, you're one of one, brother. You're one of one, and I will say I am not one.
Well,
I
which I will say, there's another problem. We live out here in Las Vegas. For some reason, Kings games, which I don't even get the channel for, are blacked out. So if I'm trying to watch the Thunder play the Kings, I can't find it.
yeah, that and that's
The blackout
and see
thing is
hate
working against them now.
I hate the blackout stuff too. It's just listen, there's certain aspects of stuff like they put you. Look, don't put me in this corner. I got to fight my way out. I'm going to, and if fighting my way out means I got to watch my games online, I'm gonna watch my games
Yeah.
online. Now, ask me if I've watched a minute of Wizards basketball this year. No, I'm not gonna let them mess up my blood
I've
pressure.
I've
For
I've,
what
I've watched
reason?
I've watched a minute or two of Wizards basketball. They did just play the Thunder the other day.
That's the
I
reason
I, I
why
have
you watched a minute.
I have watched enough to tell you this. I might have been. I looks like I was wrong about Risa Shea. I was not wrong about Alex Sarr. That kid is garbage.
Is he really that bad?
He's
I haven't
pretty
even looked at
bad.
box scores. I
He's
haven't even looked at the box scores.
Don't look. Actually, you don't want to look at a box score for a Wizards game at all this season.
No, it's horrible.
Just
Flag. I'm all in for
listen.
Flag.
Yeah, watch some Duke games. Cooper Flag looks impressive.
That's the most
Stay in
important
that
thing.
position.
That's the most
Stay in that position.
important thing.
Well, and that's the other thing that people have to remember. Like, it's going to sound stupid and corny. The Great White Hope is going to get eyes.
Hey, you know what? No, but I'll say this. To your point, you just said we don't have a lot of American stars, and if it takes a white boy American star in the nation's capital, I'm all in. I'm good. I'm good. If he's solid, I'll take it.
Well, but
Not a problem because we are horrible.
some of these stars got stunted from us. Like,
Yeah,
one, Ant's up there in Minnesota. People hate Gobert. Minnesota's a weird place, kind of between the East and the West. Although Ant's star is getting bigger and bigger all the time, as it should. But, like,
yeah,
Ja was supposed to be the one.
yeah. Gets hurt.
Zion was
Zion,
supposed to be the
same
one.
thing. Gets hurt. Yeah, that's fair. There definitely have been some stunted growths too. That's actually really true. That's true too. All right, well, we'll keep talking. So I don't want to hold people's day up.
That's
So
right.
thank you guys so much. Merry Christmas again to everyone. We got a lot of new stuff coming in the next few months. A lot of interviews coming back up. Should be back in the studio here in the next few weeks. So you won't have to deal with us being in the house too much longer. I'll have Dave back out live and in color. The braids will continue to
Live
grow
and in
for a
lack
few
of
more
color.
months before I cut these off. So, but I at least made it. So I appreciate all of you for sticking by your boy in the homeless period. But thank you, Dave, and we'll see you guys next time.
I like the fro.
I hate you.